Wait, everything come in. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Just want to have a quick live feed in regards to the upcoming webinars and of course we got coming up. The man will be. Are you ready to start your own tax business? And I wanted to, stream live on different social media platforms, being YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what you could potentially be doing in the tax preparation industry. I've been in tax business over 20 years, owning my own tax practice from there, and I have a lot of knowledge and experience in the industry. And I just want to be able to, put everybody in a position to have, some success and fun that I've had over the years with doing that. So what we'll be doing tonight is pretty much I'm going down a rundown in regards to how to get started. Well, first I'll share my story, how I got started in the tax preparation industry, give you a little information what you need to get started in the industry, and then give you the potential earnings that you can have with being in the tax preparation industry. Um, if you're tuning in the first time you ever seen one of my live feeds, I'm an accountant by profession, also a serial entrepreneur. My tax business, Majestic Business Services, we're a one-stop shop for small businesses where we do bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, all that fun stuff for small businesses. A lot of also consulting and startup services as well. And I want to just, suggest to everybody, I'll bring it up several more times during the live feed. Make sure you join my email list. You can hit on the different, there's all the feeds. You should be able to see the link for the setup and the sign up list on all the platforms that you may be looking at everything on. So make sure you hit that link and submit your contact information so I can keep you updated on, when the course is will be coming out. Also to keep you updated on the different things that we have coming down the pipe, once everything comes up. That being newsletter. Newsletter can just be basic small business information, personal income tax information, just a lot of different things for personal budgeting, holiday shopping, and things like that. So I just want you to make sure you hit the link, submit your name, your email address, so we can get you guys on our email list and keep you abreast of everything. Now, like I said, to get started, just to kind of, talk about, again, if you're ready to get started in tax preparation industry, just to be starting things off and share my story. I started my business back in the early 2000s, and really it was just kind of like a hobby. I wasn't really, like I said, I'm an accountant by profession, and I've done pretty much my whole life all kind of different odd jobs and side businesses and everything like that. My very first business was a resume company, which was Majestic Resume Writing. I think I started that back in 2001, something like that. But I always had the bug. Always had the bug. And I own several businesses now, being with the business service firm, which is Majestic Beauty Salon. Have the YouTube channel going now. Have the commercial cleaning company and everything. So I always been had that pretty much the entrepreneurial bug with me, but it kind of, I kind of straddled the fence in regards to my seriousness with everything as the businesses started to grow and everything. I just want to let everybody know, everyone know, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. Just what we got you in one of the chats. I'm bobbing my head trying to read all the different screens and everything. So if you got any questions, feel free to ask them. If it's going to be a long answer, I'll probably share with you at the end of the webinar. So if it is a quick question, I can give it to you then. If it's something long, when I open everything up to any questions and stuff, just you can hold it in. I appreciate it. But again, starting in the early 2000s, that's when we first started the tax business. Actually, Majestic Business Services was incorporated back in '03. And but we had Majestic Tax before then and everything. And I would say round about we were doing, because I had a job as an accountant, and I was probably doing no more than 20 returns a year those first couple of years. Because again, our approach is a side hustle. We're really looking at the potential. We look back in those days, nothing was really automated, so we're still talking about flip phones. We didn't have all the electronic checking and things, systems that you have in place now. So those first couple of years, you're doing folks' taxes, you wait for them to get a refund back, and then they pay you back. There was, kind of like the time of rapid refunds and things like that, and that kind of put a little fire up under me to start growing and everything with the business. But we stride along, like I said, them first couple years, and probably maybe I think that was '05, '05, '06. Brother named Rob Wilson had a radio show on WAOK, and it was just like a little financial show and everything. And WAOK is a sister station of V103 in Atlanta, and I had a business network, and he would have the different businesses that would join his business network call in at because he had a show I think from 11 to 2 or something like that, and just call in, and I was always calling just to business services. We do your bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, all that kind of stuff. And then he put it out there to join his business network. He paid an annual fee, and you could come in and do your own commercials. You had a discount commercial to run on V103 and AOK, and he had invited you to come in for the radio interview. And when I went in to do the radio interview, this is my first time. This is try any kind of public speaking or anything like that. I went in, man. I think they had a viewing audience of a couple million people. And man, I went down there and did my interview, man. I nailed it. I nailed it. And just to kind of paint a picture where we were, operational wise, we were living in a starter home in Starbridge. I didn't have any kind of office or anything like that. There was no thing as online services or anything like that, nothing virtual or remote anything. And I was directing everybody to come to our little house to get their taxes done. I didn't care whatsoever. As far as appearances, I knew I was gonna get everybody top-notch services, but as far as how I looked, the actual appearance, everything, I didn't care because I just was hell bent on growing the business. And then from that point, the relationship kept going with Rob, with me doing the promos and stuff like that, and my business it grew exponentially with doing that. And again, I'm working a job in corporate America, and also trying to deal with this growing business, also being a father. My wife helped me out those first couple of years also, so we were just going through that, trying to both manage being parents and growing those businesses along with having our jobs and everything. And that was pretty challenging, but it came to a point where everything kind of let off, but the business kept growing and growing and growing. And as the years went by, fast forward probably maybe by year 10 to 12, I'm in there, the business is going fine, I'm doing fine at my job and everything, but the issue comes up with probably a lot of people that working in corporate America. Well, not a lot, but me in particular, had got all the education, got all the credentials, got my master's degree and everything like that, but I hit the glass ceiling. I could have actually probably left and tried to look for other jobs and everything like that. But I got that entrepreneurial bug by me so hard because, again, I had the tax business, the beauty salon and everything, and, a couple other endeavors, and everything was going pretty good. I was kind of like, I ain't really wasn't too cool about working for somebody else, especially when I love corporate America. I didn't like the restrictions of my thoughts, the restrictions of my growth, and just the restrictions, period, over nothing I could control. And I just felt that, I started liking the business more than I liked my job. So what I did, I kind of just put myself on a plan to like a 2-year plan to qualify for an SBA loan, got the SBA loan, left corporate America, and the rest was history. Been self-employed since, and that's been about almost 3 years now. We're doing that, and man, I love it. I love it. And I will say this: those 2 years prior to me leaving, I mean, the business was doing just as much as I was making in corporate America. It was going fine with doing it, but I just wanted that freedom and autonomy to do it. Now, fast forward to me leaving corporate America, I had all the enthusiasm in the world, ready to hit. I've been in business. I'm here 100% because I was looking at what I was doing with this, in addition to having a job, and I was like, if I could do it 100%, what could I do? But it didn't work like that. The first year was very, very challenging. It was very, very challenging, mainly because I went into it with the same system that I had operated it with me working it part-time and now I'm operating it full time, and it didn't work, and the business suffered. But I had a good learning curve. I learned a lot. I thought I was about to lose it, but it's all good. U.S. Army soldiers, we adapt and overcome, and I was able to pivot, get my system together, and year two went pretty good, went real good, and everything. Um, Fast forward, we go to where we had, this year, this tax year in particular. Um, when I was in graduate school, we were very big on using remote services and group work and everything. And I actually have been offering remote services for the past um, 5 years. But clients really weren't so big on it. You tell people we can meet on Hangouts, we can do Zoom and things like that. And people like, nah, I just want to meet with you. I'm old school and things like that. And that was fine. It was just a service to be provided. You hit a pandemic, and everything shutting down in March 2020. Me and my team of people that was working for me, I mean, there was no learning curve. The business exploded for the simple fact that we had been offering these services, and all these other businesses had to shut down to get proper training and learn how to do certain things, whereas we were just doing normal business, and people still wanted their taxes done, but they didn't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt and Liberty and all them all the other businesses to open back up. When they shut down, we still was up and running. And I'm gonna say this: I was as much stuff I went through the past couple of years, some success and everything like that. But with that said, the business did phenomenal without that. We were able to seize the opportunity when it comes. Cause I tell people all the time, we all can get different chances in life. The key with them is when the opportunity comes, you being prepared and ready for it. And there was one of those times we were ready for it. And like I say, we really were about due for it. With that said, I have a wealth of knowledge in the industry, and I'm at the point right now. I'm looking at the next tier of my life where I want to start transitioning out of the business. I have 4 sons, and I want to start transitioning the business over to them and everything. I want to be more of educational guidance piece with that, and so that's what we're looking at. Probably start having my different series of different businesses that I've been involved with over the past couple of years to kind of help her, shed light on different industry, different businesses that I've been involved in. And so, again, that's why I want to talk to you guys now. If you ready to start your own tax preparation industry, to kind of give you some insight. I'm not trying to sell anything to anyone, but just to give you insight on how the industry is. Like I just started, I was just sharing my story on how I got started in the business over 20 years ago, and I've been quite successful with doing it. It's a very rough road. I'm not going to lie. You see people posting pictures all the time about, the business. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have any guidance. So a lot of my stuff was, OJT, on the job training, and there's no race or anything like that. But I have a good idea of what will work, what won't work, and what, some things you can probably try, you know. So that's why I want to kind of share my experiences with people to help people out, because again, we're in an economy right now that you have a wealth of opportunities. Things look bad, things look wrong. People don't know how things are going to turn out, in regards to the presidential election. But I'm real big on, at the end of the day, create opportunities for yourself, because we have no shortage of brilliant people out here, but I think we're at a shortage of people taking initiative to try to control your own destiny. So I'm very big on having different skills, so having things in place for you to take advantage of to make you the best you possible. I don't try to preach, entrepreneurship. I don't try to preach go out and get you a job. I preach you being happy, but also most importantly, protect yourself, because things happen. You want to make sure that you got 2 or 3 other things that you can do to take care of you and take care of your family. Okay, but that was just quick, tale of my history of how I got started in the tax preparation industry. And what I want to go over next is, just give you guys an idea of what all you need to get started to get, to be in the tax preparation industry. Again, if you're wherever you're streaming at, if you're Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, make sure that you hit the link with the sign up list. You're not signing up for anything. You just join our email list so we can keep you updated on the different products, newsletter, events, and stuff we got with the company and everything. Again, the webinar tonight is, like, ready to start your own tax preparation industry, where I'm sharing my story in the industry, let you know the things you need to do to get started, and also tell you the potential earnings you have. Now, sitting there talking about all the things you need to get started, I got a couple of things that I pretty much always go over with students and everything, and employees also. The three main things you want to look at with to get started in tax preparations. And the first thing you need to know is tax law. Tax law, you don't have to be know all the tax codes, verbatim or anything like that, but you need to know, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Uh, Tierney, how you doing? You don't have to be, expert in taxes to know every tax law and everything. That's why when you go to an attorney's office, you see all these books on the wall. Same thing when you go to the doctor's office, you see all these different books on the wall. So you don't have to be an expert in the tax field or tax law. You just need to be an expert on knowing how to find what you need. That's all you need to know. You need to know where to find and where to look at for the particular information you need. So again, you don't need to know all the ins and outs about, children's law, business law, and stuff like that, but you need to know what direction you need to take to find that information. That's the most important thing. You need to be kind of versed with tax deductions, be versed with tax credits, know the difference in filing status, be the first one filing single, head of household, married, filing joint, married, filing separate. Be very versed with due diligence. Due diligence is pretty much the actual steps that a preparer has to take to make sure something is valid or something is true. Be versed with earned income tax credit. Most or all the preparation guidelines are set in what's called Circular 230, which is a guideline of the rules that preparers need to abide by. Also, your added security measures that preparers need to take because, again, you're dealing with sensitive information, being Social Security numbers, bank information, people's addresses and everything. So you have to have security systems set up in your tax preparation office, and also be knowledgeable of the due dates. When everything's due, different ones, because personal returns, business returns, they all have different dates. You have different dates when they have to be filed. Also, extension dates, amendment dates. Excuse me. All that information needs to be known. So the first thing a person needs to be well versed in is tax laws to be able to do everything to be able to get started with your tax business. The second thing I advise people is to be knowledgeable on just the tax preparation actual process. In regards to that, just knowing the different, documentation that you need to actually file somebody's taxes, right? When a person comes in, what all information do you need? Just knowing your basic 1040s, your schedule A, B, C, the schedule ones now, knowing, as far as with running income, the schedule E, being a sole proprietorship, schedule C, your partnership form 1065, your S Corps 1120S, your C Corps, your 1120s. Just being versed with the basic forms that you with a particular person comes in your office of filing, and knowing exactly what you need to do for them. Good practice, always make sure you got that prior year return, because again, a person can come in and tell you one thing and they're not for sure how their taxes were filed, and they can tell you the wrong thing, use the incorrect form depending on what type of entity they have, or they had certain things set in place the previous year that roll over to the next year, that being depreciation, forwarded business losses and everything. So you want to kind of get the prior year return of doing that. One of the best things that I always tell people to do is have you some kind of intake form set up, where you can get the name, email addresses and stuff, like a little basic question now before you file their taxes, just to get certain information in regards to the different items that they have, and that can kind of give you a better idea of what you need to do for them and everything. But just that second thing is very important, just knowing the different forms that you have to use for a particular person. Again, it's not so much as being an expert in taxes. It's more so being an expert in knowing where to look. A lot of times, I'm an accountant, and I have an undergrad in finance. I have a master's in supply chain management. I'm not a CPA. And the main reason I'm not a CPA because you need 120 hours in the state of Georgia of accounting hours. I'm not interested in. Like I said, I have a finance degree. When I first got in accounting, The education requirement wasn't that big. But now, since it increased to that, I'm not interested in going there. Especially, I mean, business doing fine. I wouldn't. To get a CPA is not really of interest of mine. My point with all that is people will go and look for a CPA and everything, and that's fine. But they don't understand you don't necessarily need a CPA. The CPA most of the time is for, they're experts in what they do, but most of the time they're for auditing purposes or endorsing purposes. A CPA will give someone like myself. I'm probably like a bad example because I get so many years experience, but they won't necessarily get bogged down in doing personal returns. A CPA will be more entrenched with a more complicated return, like a bank, insurance company, something like that, and they'll give that to another preparer or bookkeeper to prepare someone's personal and individual taxes. But they're going to charge at the CPA level. So always be mindful, to be cognizant, the difference of costs and prices that a customer can incur, which goes into our last part, which is the system. The system involves pricing and everything like that, knowing how to set certain things with doing your particular your business. The systems is very, very important. And what we set up when we look at everything for us, the system is in regards to, and I told you I struggled with this my first year because I actually had the same system that I had been doing all those years prior, working part-time, and then try to forward it over to doing it full-time, and it just wasn't a good mix. And we're talking about from the moment a person walks in your door, how that's sat down, process, how the process goes, them getting ready to leave out, them leaving out. And even one step further, before they reach you, that system being as far as your marketing, you emailing them, mailing out Christmas cards, mailing out birthday cards, mailing out thank you cards, sending out different kind of promos, how you're going to be doing that at different times of the year. The intake with them coming in, the process and sending them out, the follow-up, the actual referral retention, because again, those two R's are very important because we all know in business, it's more expensive to get a new customer as opposed to keep your current one. So you always want to make sure you keep that retention. You're taking care of your people, you're following up with them, you're making them feel good. And most importantly, what they're doing, bring you new people back to you, okay? And that's the thing about it. I will try to create, in my business in particular, a tribe. I want to make sure that my clients love me. I want to make sure that my clients feel so good about what Deonte does. I try to go above and beyond with everything as far as, birthdays, they have deaths in the family, Christmas, following up with everything, going above and beyond when they need something that's emergency, not putting a charge on them with certain things. And if it's something major, yeah, but just knowing that, hey, Deonte got my back. I feel like I've created a tribe with clients. And because one of the key things we want to make sure that you have people trust you, because again, we talk about all the sensitive information that you have, bank accounts, social security numbers, addresses, and everything like that. And people, we talking about they family, their health, and their money. Now again, what order that comes in with a particular person, we don't know. But a lot of times that money comes for all those other two. And if you have people trust you with their money and their information, you win it, and you'll be very, very successful in this business. And I think that's one of the key things I think a lot of people miss out on. But a lot of that goes back into that operation. And the operation has to do a lot with, how you set everything up, how you forecast, but also, again, that pricing. And we'll go over the pricing a little bit more in depth when we start talking about the potential earnings and everything. But you have to have a system in place that's going to be successful for you to operate, successful for you to cover costs, and for successful you to turn profits for you to grow each year. Okay, those are one of the key things we're doing there. But those are three things I wanted to go over. What you need to do to get started. Again, this is a webinar tonight. Are you ready to get started in the tax preparation business? I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. If you're looking at my YouTube channel, one other platform, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. Also, please, most importantly, hit the link to join the email list and everything. What's going on, Crespo? Great information, bro. Keep doing it. Hey, I appreciate that, brother. One of my old battle buddies. Me and Crespo was in Fort Lee, Virginia, and also in Germany together. Good brother, good brother. I know he's in the financial services industry also and everything. And I'll be reaching out to you. I have a couple things I want to talk with you about, and I appreciate the compliment. And again, please make sure you join that email list again, because that's very important, because we want to keep you guys updated on the information and everything. The last part, we want to go over kind of potential earnings that a person can make in the tax preparation industry. Here's the deal. And this is what I think a lot of times people get twisted. I get phone calls all the time. One of the first things people call during tax season is what? How much you charge. And I'm going to just be very, very honest with people. I'm not the cheapest person. I'm not cheap at all. Did I start off like that and everything? I think I was horrendously cheap, especially when I was doing stuff on the radio. But again, you know, you live and learn, you expand and everything. You have to kind of be realistic. I will say this for anybody that's starting in the business. I want you to be very honest with yourself. It's harder to raise prices than start off, you know, at a certain level. So if you're the cheapest and you're going into the market as the cheapest tax person, I don't care how many years in business you have. I don't care what experience or how many your business has grown. People are always going to recognize you as a cheap person. So if you may think that I'm growing gradually and I'm doing this and I prove myself, but you got customers originally because you're the cheapest person, and you're always going to be perceived that way. Very hard to shake that stigma in regards to being, you know, as far as with pricing. And I tell people all the time when I get a phone call, and you know, I give them a price what we charge, and returns can start anywhere from 300 to 800 bucks just initially starting, depending if it's a personal return from a business return, may go more than that depending on things that are added to it. But in actuality, I got to be honest with the customer. What we talked about before, you're finna give me your name, your social, your bank information, your kid's name, and your address. Do you want the cheapest person you can find? Do you want the $50 or $75 tax man? Because if he's charging you that amount of money, you know what? They don't have none of these firewalls and other security systems to keep your information safe. They don't, because they can't afford to have it. They cannot afford to have it. My job is to take care of you the best I can and protect your information. Protect you, protect your family, give you the best service possible. I cannot do it. You can't do it. Charging crumbs. Okay. And that was one of the things that, you know, people have to come to the harsh reality when you start this business. A lot of it got to do with confidence, because depending on where you are as far as, you know, your acumen is business, a lot of times people think I should go in with lower prices. This is what markets are, go in lower and everything. That's not necessarily the case. If you actually have experience, you have knowledge, you get paid for it. You know, that's the thing about it. You're as valuable as you know you are. Okay. If you feel like that you don't bring any value, you're not going to add any kind of quality to somebody, you're not going to charge for that. But if you feel like you're adding value, regardless of where you're starting at, regardless of that, where you start at is relevant to that. It's all about the value that you're going to bring to a particular customer. If you're going to bring great value, you bring that. So if you're going to make $5,000 each week, if you open 5 days a week, you need to make $1,000 a day. And from that point, you just know if you're charging $300 return, you know, you guys charge 300 and some change per return. It's not that difficult if you do 3 returns before you make that $1,000 a day. It's not that difficult if you go back and set your system up with your numbers. Because if you can get 3 people in an 8-hour span, 5 days a week, 4 weeks out of the month, you can make it 20 grand a month. You do that for 5 months, you got your 100 grand. But it's all about how you back out of it and try to acquire those numbers. You know, it has to go much further than you posting on Facebook. I can get you $6,000. I can get you a big refund and all that. That's not going to happen. Everyone does that. Everyone does that. And that's why those same people that post that, they're selling cookies and cakes and all this other kind of stuff. Some tax season over, because they didn't make any money during tax season. Because one, they actually didn't, you know, get anyone. They didn't even get their friends or family or anything like that, you know, anyone to join, because everybody had that same basic marketing plan. They didn't grow. They didn't get any kind of connection with anybody. The most important, to build that tribe, to have folks follow them, and they still in that same rut. They made a little bit of money, maybe $1,000 that tax season, and that's it. And all people probably got paid were the people they actually got their refund. And hell, depending on the quality of services, they may get a phone call and someone saying they're getting audited. You have to, learn how to price. You have to learn how to price. And again, you have to understand the balance between the price and the quality of service, what's going on. I don't necessarily say because you charging cheaper, you're gonna get the worst customers. Um, you can have customers that are millionaire. Some of them just don't want to spend money. It's just how it is, Just uh, um, I try to get a customer that's going to be kind of realistic about certain things. Well, usually when people come to me in regards to hey the price and we're having a long drawn out conversation about price, I really try to stay away from that. I really try to stay away from it because at the end of the day, no matter what we converse on, you're not going to understand the quality of work what I'm bringing to the table. I got too much experience, too much education, um, too much savoir faire to be losing that behind trying to just get some business that I know I'm not charged what I'm supposed to be charging. Most importantly, if you sit there and look at it from all realistic terms, let's say if you're charging $100 per tax return, and then you look at a person charging 300, you got to do 3 times the work for what they do on one, right? And we're going back to the example we were just talking about, making $1,000 a day. They just have to, do 3.5 returns. Well, you have to sit here and do almost 10 returns or 10 returns to make that $1,000. Same forms, same effort. Which one do you want to be in? And honestly, it's just that this person is asking for that amount. You have to be more busier than this person. Now, like I said, they're on the hook for just 3.5. You got to get 10 people. 10 people. I'm like, get my fingers together to actually equate to that. And that doesn't make any sense to do that. So why put yourself in that situation? Guys, kid, question. Is it so bad? Meaning if there are people selling cookies and cakes and stuff? No, it's not bad, China. If people selling cookies and cakes and everything like that. My only point is that if you put yourself in a situation where your prices are right, you don't have to jump from. You can put yourself into where you're very comfortable, where you have to jump to another hustle or something that kind of compensate what you could have done from the beginning. If you have different talents and you're taking advantage of, you're selling different products, great. I'll just use an example. If that came out wrong with anybody, I apologize. But my whole point is that pricing is so important, and this goes for the cookies and cakes. This goes for the cookies and cakes. We've had plenty of clients came to us and they were undercharging for their cookies and cakes, and they had to sell 20 times as much as cookies and cakes than a person that was properly priced. Pricing is very, very important. And I think pricing is it correlates with your personal confidence that you have in yourself. Like I said again, if you know that you're adding value, you're adding quality to this person, you don't have to worry about too tough in regards to if they're gonna have a problem with the pricing. If they have a problem with the pricing and they don't recognize the value that you bring to the table, they're probably not be the best fit for you as a customer and everything. Again, I want everybody to always kind of keep that in regards to pricing. That is a very, very key component. And if you're properly priced and you scale to work on your numbers with everything, I think you'll be very excited about the potential money. Because again, we just looked at an easy example. You charge $300 per return and you knock it out 3 a day. I mean, we're talking about an easy $100,000 in 5 months. That's very easy, So I just want you guys to kind of just look at the potential earnings you can make. Again, make sure that you sign the email list so we can keep you guys updated on everything. I do have a course coming out. In regards to starting your own tax preparation business. So I want you guys, if you are interested, join the email list. I'll be sending that information out to you later on in regards to the how to enroll into the course. But as of right now, I just want to do probably a couple of these a week to kind of just repeat this again in regards to, sharing my story with doing it. Like I said, 20 years, I've had a lot of fun, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, probably more downs than I had up. Also to kind of let you guys know what you need to do to get started in the industry and then give you the potential amount of money that you can make with doing taxes, in the tax business. And the tax business is like any other business. Again, we go back to what I was just saying as far as the pricing. People pretty much, regardless of what you're doing, aren't making the money that they could make because they haven't set here and set the pricing, especially in relation to the cost they're putting out. Okay. And that's with any business. That's with any business. And again, you come January, February, there are going to be a gazillion people posting, get your taxes done, get your taxes done, get your taxes done. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. There aren't that many people eating doing it. They'll make money, they'll stay busy. But we're talking about, well, you only working 4 or 5 months out of the year and you're chilling the rest of them. And it's potentially there. I can't necessarily say you'll be able to knock it out like that your first year, but after 2 or 3 years of consistent hard work, especially it's not about doing the taxes, because again, the easiest thing I think people get confused is you get this information, go get you some software, tell everybody you're doing tax and think you're gonna be busy. You're gonna have to work very, very hard to get those 3 people a day, those 3 solid people a day that's gonna pay the price you want. You've got to work hard to get those people. But if you work hard for it and you commit yourself to doing it, it shouldn't be a problem. A lot of times people just don't want to do that. But if you can sit there, you can work the numbers just looking at it, and you focus on getting those numbers in, I think you'll be very, very surprised the amount of money you can make with doing it. And I mean, I'm just basing that off one person doing it. Let's sit down, you're looking at if you got a team of 2 or 3 or 4, 5 people working for you, you see the kind of money you can make. One person can generate 100 grand, and you got a team of 5 making. Come on, that's $500,000. But again, we're talking about how we're going to do that. We got to bring that amount of people into the office. And how we're going to do that? Like I said, the systems, year-round reaching out to people. Year-round building relationships. Year-round following up with people. Year-round setting things in place for in October to be ready in January. We spend the bulk of our money for tax season starting the month of November in regards to promos and training, insurances, all different kind of things in regards to knowledge, and make sure everything is ready for that, all that advertising stuff. So you're talking about from November to the month of January. Most tax businesses don't receive any revenue until the middle of February. I say that again. Most tax businesses don't start receiving revenue until the middle of February, right? And that's because, most of the actual income tax businesses, they aren't going to, the IRS rather, is not going to start processing tax returns until they received all the W-2s and income information from the different employees at the end of January. So once they've made that connection, they're not going to start releasing funds to anybody till the first, second week of February. So can you imagine going from November, December, possibly October, November, December, January, 3 months of just putting out with money, and it's going to be a trickle down effect that you start receiving money the middle of February. But again, when the money comes, it's going to come.